Oh my goodness, just when you think that this market cannot get any crazier, we got a day like today. Let's just get straight into it. Don't smash nothing, don't click nothing, don't subscribe to nothing. Just listen up because this is insane. I got 5 stories for you today, each crazier than the other. We got Ford with the Mach E, insane story about the car essentially turning into a brick. We got some Tesla news, some TSM news, insane stuff. So first of all, let's start with the Mach E. Apparently, there's this article I'm showing you on the screen right now from The Verge, essentially talking about how the new Mach E essentially has a software bug that pretty much kills the car. That's it. It's dead. You can't start it. You can't do jack shit. You can't even pop the hood because it's electric to jumpstart that motherfucker. So essentially, it seems like this thing is legit because Ford itself pulled out this bulletin, essentially letting everybody know about the problem. Now, here's the thing. You can actually pop the truck open, but you have to go MacGyver and pretty much, unbuckle a lot of stuff and do some craziness. But here's the thing. Here's where I think it's crazier than most. Ford told The Verge that the problem will be fixable via wireless update later this year. Later this year, motherfucker? You got cars turning into electric bricks. People paid their money for this, and you're saying later this year? This is April. You should be refunding these people, giving them this car for free. Imagine if this was Tesla. Imagine what would Gordon Johnson say on TV right now. But because it's Ford, nobody's in mainstream media is even talking about this. It's on The Verge. It's not even CNBC. Nobody's talking about the fact that their cars are turning into bricks. Well, I'm not surprised. I hope you aren't either. But let me show you what a real car company looks like. Okay, check out this article. This is from the Tasmanian, and the link is going to be below. Check this out. Tesla China sold 35,478 units of pure electric vehicles in March 2021, in 1 month. Now check this out, which were made at Gigafactory Shanghai. Now, this increase represents an amazing 94% month-over-month growth over February sales and 207% year-over-year growth over last March. Now, Tesla China sold a total of 12,709 units last year, same month. Now, a lot of people will claim, I'm sure Gordon Johnson will say, well, February is a short month. Chinese New Year's, all that nonsense. But bro, even when you compare March last year to March this year, this is a 200,000 year-over-year growth in deliveries. And the best part is, if you multiply 35,000 vehicles by 12, the number that you get is 420,000 vehicles. 420,000 vehicles. Do you think it's an accidental number? I don't think so. But in any case, imagine, jokes aside, the 420 and all that nonsense, 69, right? 420,000 vehicles per year just from one factory in China. Imagine what Tesla is going to do in 2021, 2022. All you doubters and naysayers, this is proof that you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Hey there, Shep. Well, as you descend the escalator into the Loop station, you see the Teslas waiting to whisk you into a tunnel 43 feet below ground. Now, you might think, all right, it's like a subway. But this is more like a highway underground. And because it's Las Vegas, this is also a thrill ride.
The Las Vegas Convention Center Loop is part thrill ride, part light and sound show, but mostly just a commute across a sprawling convention center.
If there's a show going on and you've got a lot of traffic in the convention center, it can be a 45-minute walk from one end to the other.
The Loop gets you there in less than 2 minutes. Here's how it works. You enter the station and call for a Tesla.
The system operates like an Uber or a Lyft, where you have an app on your phone, you say, I'm here, I want to go there, car comes up, has an identifier on it that matches with what is on the app on your phone.
Passengers don't have to make multiple stops because there are multiple exits. You go directly to your station of choice. The convention center has 3, but plans are in the works to build a loop system citywide.
Next, we got this story coming out from Las Vegas. Essentially, Tesla built a whole tunnel connecting 2 parts of the city that takes about 45 minutes to travel when you don't have that tunnel. You go inside the tunnel, there's a Tesla, it takes you in 2 minutes, blah, 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 all the good stuff, right? Now, here's what I think is revolutionary about this stuff. Not the actual Tesla driving the tunnel, but how cheap it took Tesla to do it. $53 million to build this tunnel. Imagine how much it would cost, how long it would take if you had to do it with ICE cars. Probably 4, 5, 10 times more expensive than what these guys spent for one reason. There's no fumes. It's electric, motherfucker. That's it. You have no issues with gases, carbon monoxide, none of that stuff. And of course, the naysayers and the haters and the shorts will say, well, this is a tunnel. You can't collect data for full self-driving in this tunnel. And I agree, but that's not the point of this thing. This will be the beta for the actual robotaxi game plan. If Tesla can get this to go without a driver, driverless Tesla in a tunnel, taking people from point A to point B to point C, I'm sure this is going to be a great beta for the rollout of the robotaxi whenever that happens. And imagine, I don't even see a robotaxi as a thing before 2024, 2025. So my whole evaluation of Tesla of $1,500 per share is without robotaxis, but it seems they're moving a lot faster than I thought. This is a great way to get it started. I really like what Elon is doing here. Taiwan Semiconductor's revenue up 16.7% in Q1 as demand surges. Now, as you know, this is one of my favorite stock. It's been on our Patreon page multiple times, as well as in one of my previous videos. I really like this stock. This is just another sign for me that the demand is there. They're going to go crazy, in my opinion, which might be inaccurate, might be wrong, might be the ramblings of a madman. You got to do your own research, your own due diligence. This is just my opinion. Allegedly, blah, blah, mother effing blah. Now, for the final story of the day, you want to see this.
Adam, I feel like it was in some ways a reluctant call because you were underweight over the summer. Did anything change fundamentally with actually Tesla, or is this more of a macro call now?
Oh, look, Tesla, we just think it's a must own here. And I say that because we frequently speak with investors that say, Adam, I want to put together a long-term EV or AV exposed portfolio, but I'll never own Tesla. And we kind of take a deep breath and say, well, then you run the risk of not owning the company that could make all the other stuff you do own obsolete. And so while we do have better ideas in our recommendations for EV and AV exposure than Tesla, one of our most important messages to investor is that you still have to own Tesla as a bit of insurance due to their leadership and ability to attract and importantly to deploy capital. And I think the next year or two, you're going to see them really dial that up as they become an infrastructure company, drafting on all these projects and infrastructure bills all over the world.
Adam, just to be clear, good morning, it's Guy. You're not saying that you shouldn't own other EV companies. You're just saying that Tesla needs to be part of the mix in terms of the portfolio that you're putting together.
Yes, that, but also that due to the fact that Tesla has zero internal combustion entanglement and is in a position during an arms race type of, forces to attract capital and talent, perhaps more efficiently, more advantageously, without having to defend any of the melting ice. That is something we think is underestimated. So sure, there's lots of legacy companies. They're all, if you listen to what they're saying, they all sound like they're Tesla. And in many ways, they're frankly obsessed with Tesla. They would, if you listen to 30 seconds of a Volkswagen or GM, or you'd think they didn't sell any internal combustion cars. And it turns out they sell 98% of the revenues for ICE.
They start from a much lower multiple. And Tesla's trading on some pretty punchy multiples, you could argue. We can debate that point, but let's just park it to one side.
You're right.
Volkswagen's gone from, 120 to 240 in the space of about 6 months. You do wonder whether there's more. These guys were valued as if they were going out of business.
Yep.
Now they're starting to get a little bit of the Tesla halo. I'm just wondering whether you get a bigger bang for your buck by owning some or a mix of all of these rather than focusing on Tesla.
It's a great question, Guy. And Volkswagen's covered by Harold Hendricks out of London. He has an equal weight. We think that there's great potential, and for Volkswagen and for many other legacy OEMs, the value of their EV assets may still be potentially very, very undervalued by investors. The thing that we think is being ignored is the 98% of their revenues that's coming from ICE may be dramatically overvalued. Guy, we're running scenarios where the value of ICE is massively negative. And so these auto companies have the burden of managing out this asbestos-like, toxic tort-like, tobacco-like liability, and still being able to attract ESG money to be an EV winner. And we think that is going to it's going to force these companies into these uncomfortable but necessary strategic outcomes.
Now, Adam Jonas, which I'm not sure has any relation to the Jonas brothers, I hope he does, went on Bloomberg and actually explained Morgan Stanley's position on Tesla and was very articulate, very clear, and actually made a lot of sense. And even though the Bloomberg interviewer, as you would expect from Bloomberg, I mean, come on, was really anti-Tesla, trying to push other EVs, other IC manufacturers, Adam Jonas stood his ground and was really clear in his message, and I think he killed this interview. And of course, a small caveat, Morgan Stanley is pretty much the best poker player on the table, so you never know exactly what the hand they're showing versus the hand they actually have in their head. So just be careful. And this is it for today. Quick and short, if you want to support the channel, you can do it by becoming a channel member or a channel Patreon. In both cases, you'll be supporting the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. In any case, thank you guys for watching. Thank you our channel members. Thank you our Patreons for making this possible. We'll see you guys in the next video.